The Papah Trail. Let's go, 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 go. Yeah, 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 yeah. For the love of money, niggas come around. For the love of money, some stay around. For the love of money, what a nigga will do. For the love of the money, yeah. I gotta shake it, 12 at night to 5 in the morning. They don't give a fuck now. If it's for the money, niggas gon' bark and they bite like a motherfucking dog. Gotta party like a motherfucking dog. For that cat, I am gon' roof and I'm barking at that cat, and I am gon' take the roof off when I'm riding that ride. Rip leaning to the left, but I'm steady on the only right. I'm swerving with a purpose, A nigga been sipping on that purple. A nigga been cheaping on that purple. Cause I'm getting money, Cause I'm getting money. And I'm laughing all the way to the motherfucking bank. And I'm telling her, tell me later if she thinking what I'm thinking. Damn me getting money.
Well. Just as we predicted, folks, the grand cover-up continues. After releasing 3.5 million files, the DOJ has announced that it has concluded its disclosure and investigation and won't release any more files. Who could have seen that coming? Despite all the emails that are very sus and at times incriminating, despite all the numerous allegations, FBI reportings that have gone unnoticed, despite the hidden videos of certain acts that have yet to be released and purposely aren't being released, that probably incriminate many more people, this investigation's over, y'all. It's just done. There's nothing to see here. It's all over now. We've given you everything we have. These two are engaged in a literal criminal conspiracy, a criminal empire at this point. Let's just be honest about the situation, all right? They both lied under oath many times to cover up for their bosses. Because it's not a big deal that literal blood sacrifices to Baal and Moloch may or may not have been happening. And listen, I'm not saying anything happened. That might be just a conspiracy theory. Who knows? Who knows what was really going down? Maybe they know something we don't. Who cares that there's literal talk about these elites having blood transfusions from kids to increase immortality? Who cares about that shit? Who cares about the talks about mass sterilization of people? Who cares about the fact that there was a random dentist office room looking creepy as hell placed on the Epstein Island to do God knows what to kids? Who knows? Who cares that there are literal emails and messages about murder? Who cares that there are messages between these people, between members of the Rothschild family, about having hunts? Who cares that there were 11-year-olds sighted on the Lolita Express? Who cares about that, right? Who cares that Elon Musk is actively censoring people who put his name and Epstein's name in the same damn tweet? Who cares that TikTok is censoring any kind of content that plugs a certain country that starts with I to Epstein as well? We know who owns this app now too, right? Who cares that there are literal interview reports that were covered up? Interviews between victims and the FBI. Who cares? It's all about the economy. Look at the economy, because the American economy is so good that we can just forget about ritual child abuse. We can just forget about it. That's how good the American economy is, right? Is it? Is it really? In all probability, they're covering up something much worse. Now, people have said the Epstein files themselves are a psyop to cover from something big that's coming. I don't know about any of that. All I know is they really did not want to release these. They had to by law. And there was gag orders placed on these Epstein files, and it was done with the excuse of, we can't interfere with ongoing trials and all that. Ghislaine Maxwell's trial being the big one, and even then they're interviewing her, getting her to testify. She's saying, I will say everything and expose everyone except for Trump if he gives me clemency. Interesting. But 3.5 million files out of 6 million have been released so far. this doesn't even cover the scope of what the files really are. There are other news outlets that reported we've only seen 2%. And I actually believe that. You know why? Because it's been confirmed by people in Congress saying that the FBI scrubbed the files clean before the DOJ even got to them to redact all the names they did. So there's a lot of shit missing, y'all. And what could this be? Let's cover what's happening now. Everyone's covering their asses. Everyone's covering all their bases. Hillary Clinton. She claims that there are no links between her and Jeffrey Epstein or the Clinton family. She says her husband took some rides on his planes for charitable work. Okay. A lot of celebrities have been making that excuse too. Clinton says that they are not at the heart of the Epstein network and that people should focus somewhere else. Convenient. We have no links. I don't recall ever meeting him. Sister, I was really happy that you and your husband were going to testify in public. Now, I don't even know. Maybe you got the call. Maybe someone threatened you. Maybe we're going back on our words, right? Because why would you be offering to give testimony about Epstein if you have no links to him? You low IQ, dumb. How can you dispute and say that there are no links when we have photographic and video evidence of there being links with these two partying together? There's a little picture painting of this guy in a dress in Epstein's mansion. Oh, but no links. No, they never met. They were never cool like that, right? We know that Clinton told Ghislaine Maxwell as well. Apparently, Bill Clinton threatened Vanity Fair to not write articles about Epstein potentially trafficking people. This is something else. And this is one of the numerous things against Clinton. And Hillary, let's not even talk about all the accusations made against you. There's been a lot of conspiracy theories about you and the shit that's gone down with you. And I'm not saying all of them are real. No defamation here, none at all. YouTube, this is a monetizable video. I'm just saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. And again, no links between us. We are not at the heart of this, so we need to look elsewhere. Why were you offering your testimony in public? Clearly you had something big to share. Clearly you knew stuff, your husband knew stuff. How would that even be possible if there are no links, dumb fuck? Are you low IQ, or do you think we are? Well, you might be right about the latter, but you're low IQ. To say he didn't commit crimes is one thing. I get it. You want to cover your bases, you want to protect your husband, fine. It might be false, but not a smart move, Hillary. Let me get Trump, who's saying the Epstein files are done. I've been exonerated, all right? It's funny how they're not even trying to bend reality in a way that's smart anymore. You know what I'm saying? So the DOJ is actively deleting files on Trump. Any mention of him, the number is going down and down every single day. I'd be surprised if it wasn't zero by now. Like, that's what's happening. A House or Congress representative, I don't know who, reviewed and said, in the files, Trump is confirmed, and we saw this in an email that I talked about in one of my earlier videos, Trump never kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. Remember, one of the big claims to fame in terms of defending Trump when it comes to Epstein is, well, Epstein was accused of some shit, and Trump kicked him out because he didn't want anything to do with him anymore. This is false. He was never kicked out. In fact, he was invited back in, and we know through multiple emails and chat logs that they were still in communication afterwards. And Trump isn't the only rich person who's a celebrity who was in communication with Epstein after Epstein was accused and even convicted of some shit, right? There are talks about certain workers who were underage at Mar-a-Lago, okay, picked up by Epstein. Trump says in an interview that he knew that there was a girl potentially there that was recruited by Epstein, and he didn't call the police apparently. All right, he knew about this. I think her name is Virginia Giuffre. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. There are talks between William Riley and Jeffrey Epstein about what are we going to do about Virginia. Before I call Trump with regard to Virginia, are there any other alternatives? Discussing about what should be done about her and her testimony and anything about that, right? There are talks about Trump and a connection to Russia, what blackmail Russia has on Trump and all this stuff. All this stuff that's very sus for Trump is bad. And Trump is listed as a co-conspirator in the files. You've been exonerated? You have not been exonerated for shit. Let's not forget, a credible witness, a credible victim testimony was included in the FBI's internal docket sheet about what Trump made her do. Okay? Credible. And we don't know what became of this investigation, but details from this tip match other records in the files, including an FBI write-up of an interview with an Epstein victim and her lawyer. The interview was conducted on July 24, 2019 and entered into the FBI case files on August 9th, the day before Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. Everything just looks incredibly sus as shit. And we also see that in some interviews with the FBI, there are victims who literally say, can we please not mention Trump and can I remove him because I'm afraid for my life. Fear of retaliation is the big thing they cited when asked, why don't you want to mention Trump? Why do you want to crop him out? Why do you think that is? Can we use our brains? For anyone still defending this man, ask yourself, if this was a politician you didn't like, how quick would you be to go off on them and disavow them? You know you would be quick to do so. You know it. Don't act like you would objectively be no, we have to look into everything equally, and there's no evidence. Oh, no, we're done with that. Children are being abused, eaten, and all this shit, and you're still here saying the same old dumb shit. You are a bot. You are the NPC that you used to go off on. If you still defend this, I know many of my fans no longer do. Even some of my fans who may have been fans of Trump, and I myself, we used to be a fan of Trump. We've opened our eyes. Join us or remain eyes wide shut. And Trump and his people are literally saying stuff like the Epstein stuff is just boring. Oh, the Epstein list is just boring. Let's just move on. Yeah, of course you would want us to move on. We're not going to, though. I'm going to keep beating the drum on this as many times as I fucking can. Steve Bannon, which was Trump's White House advisor in his first term at least, this guy has some of the most sus messages ever with Epstein, okay? They're talking about interviews and all this stuff in regards to Trump and all this. And then they're talking about, keep in mind, your memos on torture were set aside. Same can be done for no indicting a sitting president. Yo memo. I don't know what the hell is being mentioned here, but torture is mentioned a lot, by the way, in some of these. We already know that there are some elites that have asked for torture videos, by the way. You remove the prohibition on indicting a sitting president would be exactly the same as withdrawing the opinion on torture. There is precedent. And then they're talking about executive power and all this stuff. Regardless, an advisor to Trump was in constant contact with Epstein. And then they talk about Jewish stuff. I'm not going to get into it. I will drop the Christian in Christian Zionist. Steve Bannon also said, I love it. Can I get a couple of really pretty girls that they shoot afterwards? We don't know the context, right? Oh, it could be innocent. Maybe they're just talking about a game, or something. Who knows? Elon Musk is actively trying to gaslight the world into thinking he was not emailing Epstein the way we thought. Elon Musk is trying to make us think that he rejected Epstein, that he was too cool for school. Even though there are emails where he's begging Epstein to get on the island. And I've gone through this. I'm not going to go through it again. But this guy really wants to be a part of wild parties. To the point where, and a comedian made this joke, I'm surprised Epstein didn't think like Elon Musk was like a cop or something. Because Elon Musk was begging to be on the island so badly that he may or may not have been undercover in the eyes of Epstein. You know what I'm saying? But Elon doesn't even say this as a defense. And he doesn't even say stuff like, oh, these emails are fake. No, he says we're just misconstruing them. They're not what we think. He thinks we're fucking blind. He thinks that this email means something different. That he actually rejected Epstein when that's not reality. That's not what's being set in motion. A lot of Elon fans are saying, oh, yeah, you got to understand the context. What is the context of emailing a dude who was investigated for sex crimes? This is 2012. Look at the timeline. What's the context of Elon and Mark Zuckerberg being in a picture with Epstein? What was it, 2015 or whatever? After he was being investigated, jailed. What context? Bill Gates, in an interview saying, the emails between me and Epstein, they're false. This is just propaganda. Epstein clearly had it out for me and wanted to implicate me. Oh, yeah? Really? Is that why you were talking about the fact that you got a sexually transmitted disease and needed medicine to get off it? Is that why? Right? Is that why these emails show up of you discussing next steps for pandemics and virtual pandemics and simulated pandemics? And there are multiple emails about pandemics with you and him. Why are you not addressing this stuff? I don't think I've heard Bill Gates actually address this specifically. I think he just says the emails are all fake, y'all. Everything's fake. Everything's fucking fake, right? Now we get to the sus emails, of which I don't know who these people are that are sending these, but these need to be investigated too, okay? So there is an email like this, and there's a back and forth chain, but there's one specific thing I want to hone in on. Hey, hello everyone. Brian Jones says he is ready to meet Ref the murder of his ex-girlfriend. He wants the meeting to occur in a non-public place in New Jersey, I think. Is there any day that works for you guys next week? I don't know what this even says or means. He is ready to meet Ref, the murder of his ex-girlfriend. I don't know what that sentence means. Maybe one of you can decode this in the comment section, but not a good look. And this is not the only email that references murder and killing people, okay? So someone asked Epstein, so did you find someone to take care of the island? And he says, yes, a certain boy that thinks of a certain act all the time. That starts with S. Interesting. Then they reference girls as shrimp. Some are like shrimp. You throw away the head and keep the body. Another email regarding torture. Did you torture her? First saying our spy was captured after completing our mission, and then he says, did you torture her? No idea what this could mean. Another torture email. From Jeffrey to somebody that is redacted for no good reason. Do you want me to try to do her or just torture her? There is a person named Tancredi Marcialo, but I'm not even going to go there because I think YouTube will demonetize me if I mention people. Then there's talks about somebody preparing, I think Leslie Groff is the name here, right? Yeah, Leslie. Preparing a girl to meet with Epstein. My meeting with the girl didn't go well. She rejected my offer and had no interest to get the new friend. She's looking for young boys to hang out with. I'll keep trying. And because of the Fashion Week modeling shows and fashion shows and trying to traffic them to Epstein. Then we get to the videos. Now, as you know, Gmail was created as like a virtual Gmail to see all the emails that we have, right? But someone created a virtual YouTube. So one thing first, there are Epstein videos that have been put out as PDFs to trick us. But the DOJ didn't know that you just wrote instead of PDF, MP4, you actually get some footage. The White House are filled with idiots, aren't they? You get footage of the prison. Then we get that whole YouTube archive, that virtual YouTube archive. And there's a lot of weird stuff in here. I can't show the videos because I'll get demonetized quick and my entire channel will get nuked. I don't even know if I can describe them. Now, I'm not saying that they're anything insane, because I think the insane stuff is still yet to be seen. But they clearly have underage girls there. There's at least one video with a baby in it. That's all I'm going to say. You can look it up for yourself. But I just want you to just ask yourself, these videos, despite them not showing anything too insane, they're still really creepy. Can you imagine what the unreleased vids are? Because it's already been referenced by the DOJ that a lot of it contains CP, and that's why they can't show it. But I have a feeling that in these videos, there are also certain people in there that could be indicted that they don't want to show. And I know it's because there's a little picture that was redacted with 8 men and a girl, right? So they're clearly covering for people. It's so obvious. These people being billionaires, corporate leaders, academia leaders, politicians from all over. I think a lot of these people are probably involved in what's called the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission, this is from the horse's mouth himself, Epstein. David Rockefeller founded it in 1973. Stability and consistency in world affairs by uniting business leaders and politicians from North America, Europe, and Asia. Okay, that checks out. Epstein was an enthusiastic member. He actually used his connections within here to get into wealthy circles, to attract a network of famous and wealthy people. The purpose of this group aims to encourage dialogue and cooperation in common problems regarding economics, politics, and security. Very vague summary, but we know they have ties to multiple people. There's 390 members. It's an elite private forum. They have annual meetings, and apparently they deny membership to public officials. But we do know that they have connections to different public officials, and maybe are overseeing the actions of people in government. This is just a list I could find on Wiki. Could be wrong, take it with a grain of salt, but this is just a list of people there. No one that I would know off the bat, but I think the goal is to not have too many celebrities in here, but they are definitely controlling a lot of them. The White House is compromised, man. Government is compromised. Everything's fucking compromised. Because this is all comes from wide-scaling business interests of multiple people in private secret organizations that are controlling everything. And they're able to do God knows what. The law does not apply to them the same way it does to us. Politics, the whole two-party bullshit, left wing versus right wing. You'll have influencers saying, oh, yeah, it's the Democrats. Oh, no, it's the MAGA people. It's the right wingers. This is what you call controlled opposition. There are people who you might have liked, influencers that you might have liked, that are plants that will never say anything wrong about a specific place or country or leadership, but will go off on another one because they want to point everything in that direction. And then the same can be said about the other side. It's a never-ending civil war of stupidity. These are controlled opposition plants. And half of us fall for them. I fell for them. God knows that. I could name some, but I'm not going to, out of fear of defamation. Think about people you had respect for, and now you're seeing them shill endlessly while blaming something and trying to avoid things and trying to move on. You know, like, think about that. This is what you call controlled opposition, folks. And they want us to battle each other so that we are distracted from what's happening there. Don't let them. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood.
Yeah. Hey. Let's go.